Hi students. So we are talking about the applications of derivative. So in that first thing we came across the introduction regarding the application of derivatives. After that we came across the rate of change of a quantity. So these things we have came across yet till now in the application of derivative. So the next concept which we are going in the application of derivative is increasing and decreasing function. So increasing and decreasing function means before getting into the detailed concept regarding this one, first I will go with the foundation, giving some foundation to this increasing and decreasing function. So first I will consider the two functions. Say y is equal to x plus 3. This let it be a one function. I can write this function as also equal to f of x is equal to x plus 3. And another function which I am considering is y is equal to minus x plus 3. I can write this function also as f of x is equal to minus x plus 3. Now, since you people are well familiar with the last year concept regarding the straight lines and all, by looking into the question itself, some can guess that this question it is in the form of an slope intercept form. Both the questions it is in the form of slope intercept form. What is the slope intercept form? That is y is equal to mx plus c, where m is the slope and c is the y intercept. So here the slope is what? Here the slope is 1. So when slope is 1, how we are going to draw the graph? When slope is 1, our angle, what is that angle? It is a straight line. I am considered here both the thing. I started with considering a linear equation. So by looking itself, a linear equation means y is equal to mx plus c. It is a linear equation. It is a slope intercept form. So slope is 1 means that line forms an angle of 45 degree with respect to the x-axis. So this straight line forms an angle of 45 degree with respect to the x-axis. After that, what is that? 3. 3 is what? It is on a slope y-intercept. So 1, 2, 3, which is making an angle 45 degree. So this is the line y is equal to x plus 3. So this is a line or graphical representation of that equation. Similarly, I am considering here y is equal to minus x plus 3. So when I consider y is equal to minus x plus 3, again this is also a slope intercept form, that is y is equal to mx plus c, where our here slope is what? Minus 1. When slope is minus 1, the straight line forms on an angle of 135 degree with respect to the x-axis. So the graph of that line, it will be what? Which is making an angle of 135 degree with respect to the x-axis. So see, what is our intercept? Intercept is again positive plus 3. So intercept is 3, which is making an angle of 135 degree. I am considering this the line, it will be the graphical representation of this one is like this. Now you can see here, this is our x-axis and y-axis in both the cases. So you can see here as we go along the x-axis, the x is increasing. Here as we go, this is y, it is nothing but f of x. As we go along the y-axis in the upward direction, f of x is increasing. Similarly, as we go along the x-axis, here x-axis is increasing. As we go along the y-axis, f of x is increasing. In the first case, you can see here, as x is increasing, our f of x is also goes on increasing. So as we go on increasing the value of x, as x is increasing, you can see that our f of x is also goes on increasing step by step. So such type of functions are called as what? Increasing function. Similarly, you can see here, as we go on increasing the x here, if we go on increasing the x, our f of x value is go on decreasing. So you can see it starts, even this one also the x value. From here to here, the x value is goes on increasing. When the x value is increasing, our f of x value is going on decreasing, decreasing, decreasing. So what happens here? As the value of x increases, f of x value is going on decreasing. So such type of functions is called as what? A decreasing function. So this is a purely basic or the foundation regarding the increasing and decreasing function, where I started with the linear function. Suppose now I consider another example. Say if I consider f of x is equal to sin x. So when I say f of x is equal to sin x, means obviously I hope now everyone know the graph of the sin x. So I'll draw the sin x graph. So this will be the graph of sin x. Okay. So from 0, and this is our pi by 2, and this is pi, and this is 3 pi by 2, and this one is 2 pi. Now I say, by looking into the graph from 0 to pi by 2, when I am talking from 0 to pi by 2, the graph is what? The graph is going on increasing here. So you can see here, as the value of our x is increasing, that is from 0 to pi by 2, f of x is also increasing. So from 0 to pi by 2, sine function, it is an increasing function. When I consider from pi by 2 to 3 by 2, the graph, it is what? It is decreasing. So when I am considering the interval from minus pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2, the function is going on decreasing and decreasing and decreasing. Similarly, when I consider the graph from 3 pi by interval from 3 pi by 2 to 2 pi, what? Again the graph is increasing. So clearly when we are talking about either any increasing or decreasing function, the major thing which matters is in which interval. When we are talking in the first example, here we didn't bothered about in which interval, but when we are talking about the second example, you can see we talked about the interval, or when we consider this interval, the function is increasing. When we consider this interval, the function is decreasing. When we again consider this interval, the function is increasing. So the major thing when we are talking about increasing or decreasing function, it depends in which interval whether the function is increasing, in which interval the function is decreasing. So in this concept, you peoples are going to see two types of question. In the type 1, which type of question is, we need to check whether the given function is increasing or decreasing in the given interval. I mean, they are given the interval, means already they have given the interval, say a comma b, and they have given some function, say f of x. You need to check whether the given function f of x is, whether it is increasing or decreasing in this given interval. So this is one type of question you can see in this section. Another type of question is, that is type 2 question. Find the interval in which the given function is increasing or decreasing. This means the second type of question is, they have given the function and they are saying the function is increasing, and they are saying the function might be decreasing. But you need to say in which interval the function is increasing and in which interval the function is decreasing. So we need to find this interval. So these are the two type of questions which you can commonly see in this section. So here we talked about generally how we are saying the function is increasing and function is decreasing. Suppose if I gave the question. So here when I talked about the question in the beginning, f of x is equal to x plus 3, f of x is equal to minus x plus 3, and in the next f of x is equal to sin x. In all these three conditions, we know, we know how to draw the graph of these functions. So when I say x plus 3, it is a slope intercept form, I draw the straight line. When I say f of x is equal to sin x, we know how the graph of sin x is, so I draw the line. Suppose if I randomly give any of the function like x plus 3 whole cube minus x square, if I give some functions like this, you don't know what is the graph of this function. When we are given like this type of function and asked us to check whether the given function is increasing or decreasing, if they ask like this, means how we are going to deal with it. So to deal with this type of question, since what and all we have taken yet till now, we will take the common factor in these two questions and imply that one in like this type of question. So what is that common factor? What is that common factor? Let us see. So this is our sine function. So when I am talking from 0 to pi by 2, that means from 0 to pi by 2 means up to here. As I said, from 0 to pi by 2 sine function, it is an increasing function. How the graph it was? It was like this. So from 0 to pi by 2, the graph of sine function, it was like this. So now in this function, I considered now what? Increasing function, because from 0 to pi by 2 I am considering. So when I am considering the increasing function, if I draw the tangent at any point of this increasing function, if I draw the tangent at any point in this increasing function, means the slope of the tangent is what? Slope of that tangent is always greater than 0. Slope of the tangent that is greater than 0 means what does that implies? F dash of x is greater than 0. What is this f dash of x? F dash of x is nothing but slope of a tangent of a given curve at any point. So what is this f dash of x? It is nothing but what? Slope of the tangent of the curve, slope of the tangent of the curve at any point. So at any point, if I draw the tangent, means how we are going to look at, if we extend that tangent, means at what angle that line cuts this angle. So this angle is always positive, that is theta, it is acute angle, so slope is positive. So slope is positive means f dash of x is greater than 0. So when the function is increasing, our f dash of x is greater than 0. Similarly, when I am talking from pi by 2 to pi, means the slope is what? It is decreasing. When slope is when the curve is decreasing, if you draw the tangent at any point, means if you draw the tangent at any point, means, and if you extend that tangent towards the x-axis, at what angle that line cuts the x-axis, that this theta, this gives us what? This gives us slope of that line. Slope of that line is what? It is always less than 0. So slope is less than 0 means what? F dash of x is less than 0. When we are considering the decreasing curve, means its f dash of x, it is always less than 0. So similarly, when I am considering f dash in our sine function, the curve was like this. At x is equal to pi by 2, what? If I draw the tangent at the point x is equal to pi by 2, we are going to get a line which is parallel to the x-axis. So when the tangent is parallel to the x-axis, then slope is equal to 0. When slope is equal to 0, like this it occurs, means what happens? When the slope is equal to 0 at that time, means if f dash of x it is equal to 0, means only f dash of x it is equal to 0, means then such type of functions is called as what? It is a constant function. So this is the basic thing which we have adopted from looking into the previous basic things which we have seen, and we have adopted the common thing from those examples and said that what? When we are saying the increasing function f dash of x, it should be greater than 0. When we are saying decreasing function f dash of x, it should be less than 0. When we are saying a constant function, means f dash of x, it should be equal to 0. Suppose now I consider the interval from 0 to pi by 2. F of x is what? It is sine function itself. When I am talking about the interval 0 to pi by 2, you can see here from 0 to pi by 2, f of x is strictly increasing. When it comes to pi by 2, our f dash of x is equal to 0 at x is equal to pi by 2. So when f dash of x is equal to 0 at x is equal to pi by 2, means what happens here? From 0 to pi by 2, our f dash of x, it is what? It is greater than or equal to 0. Similarly, when I consider the interval pi by 2 to pi, means again at pi by 2 our f dash of x is equal to 0. So in the whole interval our f dash of x, it is what? It is less than or equal to 0. So it purely depends whether the function f dash of x, it is greater than or equal to 0 or less than or equal to 0. It purely depends upon how we have taken the interval or how we have considered the interval. Suppose, as till now I am talking about the interval from 0 to pi by 2, pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2, then 3 pi by 2 to 2 pi. Suppose if I consider the interval from 0 to pi and ask whether the sine function is an increasing function or decreasing function. From 0 to pi by 2 the function is increasing, from pi by 2 to pi the function is decreasing, but they are asking in 0 to pi by 2. In this case, when in the given interval the function is also increasing, the given function is also decreasing, it is increasing as well as decreasing, means at that time we are writing the given function is neither increasing nor decreasing. Why we are writing neither increasing nor decreasing? It is increasing as well as decreasing, right? Because it is not only increasing, it is not only decreasing, it is increasing as well as decreasing. So we are writing the function is, it is neither increasing, it is not only increasing or not only decreasing. So function is neither increasing nor decreasing. So if in the given interval, whatever might be the interval, if in that given interval the function is increasing as well as decreasing, means we are used to write this one. So this is a basic thing which you need to know when it comes regarding the increasing and decreasing function. So now let us brief of what we have studied regarding the increasing and decreasing function. Now you can see here within the interval a comma b, here the function is what? It is increasing. In a certain interval within a comma b, the function, it is constant and again increasing. So within the interval a comma b, we can see here our f dash of x, it is what? It is greater than or equal to 0. It is greater than 0 when the function is strictly increasing here at this part. And which part within the interval f dash of x is equal to 0? In this part, because here the function, it is a constant. So here in this type of example where f dash of x, it is greater than or equal to 0, means such type of functions are called as what? It is called as an increasing function. Next, here you can see here within the interval a comma b, the function is increasing. In any part you cannot see a constant function, or you cannot see any part such that you can make that f dash of x is equal to 0. So such type of function where it is strictly increasing and within the given interval a comma b, and within that interval we are not getting at least one point such that f dash of x is equal to 0, means such type of function where f dash of x, it is strictly greater than 0. So such type of function, this is called as what? This function, such type of functions are called as strictly increasing function. Similarly, here for the strictly decreasing function, within the interval a comma b, the function is decreasing. At certain point within the interval a comma b, the function is constant here. So at this point our f dash of x, it is equal to 0. At these 2 points our f dash of x, it is less than 0. So what happens here? Our function is what? Within the interval a comma b, f dash of x, it is less than or equal to 0. So when f dash of x is less than or equal to 0, the function is called as what? Decreasing function. Similarly, the next example, within the interval a comma b, the function is strictly decreasing here. We are not getting at least one point such that f dash of x is equal to 0. So within the interval a comma b, when f dash of x, it is strictly less than 0, such functions are called as what? Strictly decreasing function. It is a strictly decreasing function. Now here in this example you can see within the interval a comma b, the function is increasing as well as decreasing. So what we are calling here within the interval a comma b, when the function is increasing as well as decreasing, we are saying it is neither increasing function, neither increasing nor decreasing. So this is regarding the general way of saying which condition, when we are saying it is an increasing, when we are saying it is a strictly increasing, when we are saying it is decreasing, when we are saying it is strictly decreasing, and which condition when within the interval a comma b, when the function is both increasing as well as decreasing, means then we are saying such functions are called as neither increasing nor decreasing. Please note down under which condition we are saying the function is increasing and strictly increasing, decreasing, strictly decreasing. So please note down the condition for all the thing in your book and pause the video and note down all these things and then move to the next part. So suppose now if I consider a point on a number line, say x0. So if any question they have asked regarding, so let us see or check whether at the point x0 whether the function is increasing. I mean the let it me f of x be any given function. Let it be any given function. They are saying we need to check this f of x, the given function at x0, whether it is an increasing function or a decreasing function. Then how we are going to deal with it? So when they are asked x0, we are considering one interval around the x0. So around the interval, what I am considering, that interval is x0 minus h, and this point has x0 plus h, where h is some point which is greater than 0. So we are taking some points around x0. Now we got this interval, say x0 minus h to x0 plus h. Now within this interval I am considering any 2 points, say x1 and x2. I consider those 2 points as x1 and x2. Now here you can see a x1, when x1 is less than x2, let us input that value of, check what is the value of f of x1 and f of x2. Okay, we have taken any random 2 points within this interval, that is x0 minus h to x0 plus h. Within this interval I have considered that 2 points, say x1 and x2, where x1 is strictly less than x2 here. When x1 is strictly less than x2, first find out what is the value of f of x1 and what is the value of f of x2. How we are finding the value of this two? By inputting the value of x1 and x2 in the given function. Now you got the value of f of x1 and f of x2. If f of x1 is less than f of x2 means, then we are saying it is an when x1 is less than x2 means what happens here? The value is going upon increasing. F of x1 is less than f of x2 means here what? The value is going upon increasing. So what happens when x1 is less than x2? F of x1 is also less than x2 means what happens? If f, then this happens means then this function is what? Then this function is an increasing function. So similarly, if x1 is greater than x2 and happens our what f of x1 it is less than f of x2 means what happens here? The function will be what? It will be the when x1 is less than x2 itself, if f of x1 it is greater than f of x2 means then we are saying it is as an increasing function. Suppose now what happens here when x1 is less than f of x2 and if f of x1 it is less than or equal to f of x2 means then we are saying it is a increasing function. If it is strictly less means strictly increasing. So depending upon what the value we are going to get from this one, we are going to say whether the function is increasing or decreasing or strictly increasing or strictly decreasing. So this is one of the definition regarding the increasing and decreasing function at a given point or at any given point x0 within the interval say I. So this is a definition. So I didn't went writing the definition and explaining. So I went with explaining how that definition is explained so that you can understand the explanation better way than the writing that statement of a definition. So we will get to the statement of the definition in your NCERT textbook. So this is the definition regarding the defining the increasing as well as a decreasing function. So now based upon the definition of a strictly increasing and strictly decreasing function, here we have defined one of the theorem, that is, let f be a continuous on the closed interval a comma b and differentiable on open interval a comma b, then f is strictly increasing in the open closed interval a comma b if f dash of x is greater than 0 for all x belonging to a comma b. Similarly, it is strictly decreasing in the closed interval a comma b if f dash of x is less than 0 for all x belonging to a comma b, and it is a constant function in that interval itself when f dash of x is equal to 0 for all x belonging to a comma b. So to prove this theorem, we are taking the help of what? The mean value theorem, which we have studied in the previous chapter, that is on the chapter of differentiability, continuity and differentiability. So what does that mean value theorem is stating? If f is a function from closed interval a comma b to set of real numbers, and if f is continuous on that closed interval a comma b, differentiable on that closed interval open interval a comma b, so all the condition of that mean value theorem is satisfies in this theorem also. So if we are having it is continuous on the closed interval and differentiable on the open interval a comma b, means what? There exists some c which is belonging to a comma b, such that what happens? F dash of c is equal to f of b minus f of a divided by b minus a. So this is what the mean value theorem is saying. So we are adopting this mean value theorem to prove this theorem one by one. So what I am starting first is I am considering a 2 point in this interval a comma b. Let x1 comma x2, it belongs to what? It belongs to this closed interval a comma b. Why I considered the closed interval? Because here they are talking about, we need to prove that is f is strictly increasing in this closed interval. So since they are talking about the closed interval, I have taken that x1 and x2 which is belonging to this closed interval. So along with this one I am taking, how is this? Means if I am taking this is a and this is b, means, and somewhere here this is x1 and somewhere here this is x2. So what happens now? Where x1 is strictly less than x2. So this is how I am taking the point in that interval a comma b. So now we are having the 2 points in this interval. So now by the mean value theorem, the f is continuous on the closed interval a comma b, differentiable on the open interval a comma b. Since it is in that way and x1 and x2 belonging to this one, means what happens? That f is satisfying for this x1 and x2 also. So by using this mean value theorem, what happens? There exists c which is belonging to what? C which is belonging to the open interval x1 comma x2, such that what happens? F dash of c is equal to f of x2 minus f of x1 divided by x2 minus x1. What happens? If I move this x2 minus x1 towards the LHS, means what happens? F of x2 minus f of x1 is equal to f dash of c into x2 minus x1. Now you can see clearly that since I said x1 is less than x2, x2 minus x1 is what? It is obviously greater than 0. So now this part, it is greater than 0. What about this f dash of c? Clearly c, it is belonging to x1 comma x2. So c is belonging within this interval, means obviously the c is belonging to this open interval a comma b also, right? So now what happens? For all x which is belonging to c, f dash of x is greater than 0. If you take any point, whatever point between this interval a comma b, our f dash of x, it is greater than 0. So c is some point, any point in that interval a comma b. So what happens now? Even this f dash of c, it is also greater than 0. Since the both element in the RHS, that is f dash of c as well as x2 minus x1, or both are greater than 0, the product is also greater than 0. So what happens now? F of x2 minus f of x1, it is greater than 0. When f of x2 minus f of x1 is greater than 0, what does that implies? F of x2 is greater than f of x1. So it is clear that when x1 is less than x2, when x1 is less than x2, f of x1, it is also less than f of x2. So as we go on increasing the value of x1, f of x1 value is also going on increasing. So what happens when x1 is less than x2, f of x1 is also less than less 2, means what happens? The function f of x, it is what? It is strictly increasing. So that is what we needed to prove. F is strictly increasing in that interval, closed interval a comma b. So we have proved it. We went from where we have started. We have considered the 2 points in that closed interval a comma b with the condition x1 is less than x2, and then we proceeded with the mean value theorem, and with the approach of mean value theorem we came with the conclusion that f of x is strictly increasing. Similarly, we can go with the strictly decreasing concept also. So again the same thing, I am considering the 2 points, say x1 comma x2, which is belonging to the closed interval a comma b, such that x1 is less than x2. Similar, in this manner only I am considering the point. So by the mean value theorem, what? There exists a c which is belonging to x1 comma x2 such that what? F dash of c is equal to f of x2 minus f of x1 divided by x2 minus x1. So what happens now? F of x2 minus f of x1 is equal to f dash of c into x2 minus x1. So clearly, when x1 is less than x2, x2 minus x1 is what? It is greater than 0. So now for this component it is greater than 0. When I am talking about f dash of c, so I am considered here the second condition when I am proving this one. So in that second condition, what it is saying? F dash of x, it is less than 0 for all x belonging to a comma b. So here our c, it is again belonging to x1 comma x2. Since x1 comma x2 it is within the interval a comma b, c is belonging to that a comma b. So for any point within the open interval a comma b, what it is saying when we are talking about the second function, that is f dash of x is less than 0. So what happens? This c is belonging to that interval, this becomes less than 0. One function is greater than 0, another function is less than 0. So positive into negative is what? Negative itself. So what happens? Our f of x2 minus f of x1, it is less than 0. When this one is less than 0, what happens? F of x2, it is less than f of x1. So when x1 is less than x2, f of x2 is less than f of x1, or f of x1 it is greater than f of x2, means what happens? As we go on increasing the value of x, here f of x, that is what? It is going upon decreasing. So what happens? Such function is called as what? Strictly decreasing function. So that is what we needed to prove in the second one. Within that interval, when f dash of x is less than 0 for all x which is belonging to a comma b, our f function, it is strictly decreasing. So we have proved that f function is strictly decreasing upon the approach of mean value theorem. So the next is proving that function is a constant function. I will leave it for yourself. Do it by yourself. Suppose if you have any doubt in the approaching that saying that the function is a constant function, you can ask me at any time. I will explain you regarding how we are going to prove this one. So this is left for yourself. So do it by yourself. So this is what the theorem is saying regarding the increasing as well as decreasing function. So now all the basic thing regarding the increasing and decreasing function introduction part is finished. Now let us concentrate upon how we are solving the question based upon the increasing and decreasing function. So in the beginning itself I have said, in this increasing and decreasing function we are going to see two type of question. In that type 1 question is what? We need to check whether the given function is an increasing or decreasing function. They are given the interval. We need to check or prove or say that whether the given function is increasing in that interval or decreasing in that interval. So here is the first question. We need to prove that the function, what is that function, given function, that is f of x is equal to cos x. That function is strictly decreasing in the interval 0 to pi, strictly increasing in the interval pi to 2 pi, and neither increasing nor decreasing in this interval. So we need to prove this one. So let us move with the step by step. So how we are going to find deal with this one? The given function is what? F of x is equal to cos x. First step, let us find what is the differentiation of a given function. What is the differentiation of cos? It is minus sin x. So we have differentiated the given function, that is f dash of x is equal to minus x. So clearly, so when we are talking about the trigonometric function, we should know the clear idea regarding the quadrants, basic things regarding the trigonometric function. So now we got f dash of x is equal to minus sin x. So it is clear that from 0 to pi, I am dealing with the first question, from 0 to pi, that is from here to here, first quadrant and second quadrant comes, from 0 to pi, sine function is what? If you take any value between 0 to pi for any x which is belonging to 0 to pi, what is that? Our sine x is what? Sine x is positive. It is always positive for any x from 0 to pi. So sine is positive. What happens when sine is positive? Positive, this what happens here? Minus into positive value. Why it is positive? Because we are talking about the interval 0 to pi here. So in this interval, sine is positive. Positive into negative, what happens? Negative. So what happens here? Our f dash of x is what? It is negative. When f dash of x it is negative, means what happens? F dash of x is less than 0. When f dash of x is less than 0 means what happens? It is strictly decreasing function. What is that? We needed to be proved. So f dash of x is less than 0 means our function f of x is strictly decreasing in the interval 0 to pi. Here we have considered the open interval 0 to pi. We didn't consider here closed interval 0 to pi. Suppose if we have considered the closed interval 0 to pi, at what happens here? So the cos function graph, it was like this. So if we consider the closed interval, means at pi what happens? We used to get a tangent which is parallel to the x-axis. So that's why here it is a closed interval, not closed interval, it is an open interval. So it is what? From 0 to pi, whatever the value you are going to get, it is always strictly less than 0. So f dash x is also strictly less than 0. The function is what? Strictly decreasing function. So the first thing is proved. Similarly, the second function, again the f dash of x remains as it is. F dash x is minus sin x, only the interval is changing here. From where to where they have considered? From open interval pi to 2 pi. So when we are talking about from pi to 2 pi, what? Third and fourth quadrant comes. From pi to 2 pi, in that interval for any x which is belonging to pi to 2 pi, what happens? Sin x is what? Sin x is negative. When sin x itself is negative, what happens for our f dash of x here? Minus into sin x is always negative in this interval, means negative into negative. What happens? Minus into minus, it is always positive. What happens? Our f dash x, it is positive. So here in this interval from pi to 2 pi, our f dash of x, it is greater than 0, means strictly greater than 0, means it is what? It is strictly increasing function. The next is within the interval 0 to 2 pi, we need to say whether it is neither increasing nor decreasing. So clearly from 1 and 2, in the first interval we considered 0 to pi. In the next interval we considered pi to 2 pi. If we combine these two, means we are going to get the intervals from 0 to 2 pi. In this interval it was strictly decreasing. In this interval it was strictly increasing. So within this 0 to 2 pi, we are having strictly increasing from certain interval to certain interval. In this interval itself, we are having strictly decreasing. So now within 0 to 2 pi, we are having strictly decreasing curve also, strictly increasing curve also. So what happens from 0 to 2 pi, the function f of x is what? It is neither increasing nor decreasing. So this is how we are going to deal with the problem when they have given the function along with the interval, and we need to check whether the function is an increasing or decreasing. Means first we are finding the f dash of x and we are checking it whether it is a positive or negative. F dash of x is positive or negative within that given interval, and then we are proceeding and saying the given function is increasing or decreasing function. So this is a type 1 question. So in that type 1 question itself, we are having the another, I am dealing with another similar question. I mean with the type 1 only, so that you will get some another idea of how we are going to solve these type of question. So what happens here is we need to show that f of x. So here we consider the trigonometric function where we know the graph of that function, we have the idea regarding its quadrant. So we all are having those ideas when we are talking about the trigonometry. Now we are considering one of the cubic function. F of x is equal to x cube minus 3x square plus 4x, where x belonging to the set of real numbers. We need to show that this function is strictly increasing function. So how we are going to deal with it? As usually, first I am finding its differentiation, that is f dash of x. What is the differentiation of this one? That is 3x square minus 6x plus 4. So this is the derivative of the given function. So to say this function is a strictly increasing function means what we need to say? We need to say that f dash of x, it should be strictly greater than 0. When we are approached with this thing, that is f dash of x is strictly greater than 0, then we are saying it is an increasing function. So we need to approach at this point. So to approach at this point, what I am doing here is we are having this one. From first two terms, I am taking 3 common outside. What happens? X square minus 2x plus 4. So within this bracket I am doing completing the squaring process. So here we are having x square minus 2x. So if I add plus 1 and minus 1 within this bracket, means what we are going to get? 3 into x square within the bracket only, because the x square minus 2x plus 1 minus 1 plus 4. So what happens? Plus 1 is added within the bracket, means this 3 is also multiplied here. So what happens? If I am considering only x square minus 2x plus 1, minus 1 is excluded, means x square minus 2x plus 1. If I am taking this minus 1 outside the bracket, means minus 3 plus 4. So what happens here? 3 into, this is nothing but x minus 1 whole square plus 1. So now you can see clearly that our f dash of x, x square minus 1, whatever might be the value of x, since we are having the square above it, this term is always positive. It is always positive means it is greater than 0. When this term is greater than 0, if we multiply any term which is greater than 0 with any positive term, means that time the value whole itself is again a greater than 0. Whatever might be the value, it is the thing you are going to get here, it is obviously greater than 0. If I add one term plus 1 to that term, is again this is also greater than 0. There is not at all a single point or a term in where we are going to get it might be equal to 0. There is not at all chance of getting here it will be equal to 0. So it is clear that f dash of x, it is strictly greater than 0 at this point. By looking into this equation we can say. So since f dash of x is strictly greater than 0, we can say that the given function f of x, it is what? It is a strictly increasing function. So now let us move to the second type of question. What is that? Where we need to find the interval upon which interval the given function is strictly increasing, or upon which interval we need to find the given function is strictly decreasing. So here is one question based upon the second type of question, that is find the interval in which the function f, that is that given function x square minus 4x plus 6, this function is strictly increasing and strictly decreasing. So they have what they have given. Let us deal with this question. What the function they have given? F of x is equal to x square minus 4x plus 6. So we need to find the interval. In which interval this is strictly increasing, in which interval it is strictly decreasing. Step 1. We are starting with finding its derivative itself. What is its f dash of x? So what is its derivative? 2x minus 4. So we find out the derivative of the given function. After finding the derivative, we are dealing with the step 2. What is that step 2 means? We are taking f dash of x is equal to 0. When f dash of x is equal to 0, what is the value of x? We are finding that one. So when f dash of x is equal to 0, what happens? 2x minus 4 is equal to 0. 2x is equal to 4. This implies value of x is equal to what? 2. So we got the value of x is equal to 2. When we substitute f dash of x is equal to 0 and get the value of x, and this point is called as what? This point is called as a critical point. there it might be equal to, we are going to get only one critical point. In certain cases we might be able to going to get two or more critical points. Suppose if we had here square, x square is equal to 4 means at that time we used to get x is equal to plus or minus 2. So in that way we are going to get the critical point. So now we got x is equal to 2. So I am plotting with the number line. So I am marking out that critical point, that is x is equal to 2 here. When we plot the critical point or the point which we got when we have substituted f dash of x is equal to 0, we are going to get some interval in this number line. What is that interval? So we are going to get two disjoint intervals from minus infinity to 2, from 2 to infinity. So if we have two or more points, like from if, as I said, if x square is equal to 4, if we got like this, at that time we used to get x is equal to plus or minus 2, at that time plus 2 minus 2, at that time we used to have 4 disjoint interval, minus infinity to minus 2, minus 2 to 2, 2 to plus infinity. So in that way we used to get 3 disjoint intervals. So here in this case we got the 2 disjoint intervals, that is from minus infinity to plus 2 and plus 2 to minus infinity. First I will consider the interval from minus infinity to 2. Take any point in this interval. Take whatever the point which is coming in this interval. So in this interval we are going to get x is equal to 0 also. I am taking the value x is equal to 0. So substitute that value here. In which one? F dash of x is equal to 2x minus 4, which we got here. Substitute x is equal to 0. So what is the f dash of 0 is here? That is equal to minus 4, which is less than 0. So when you take any point in this interval, that is minus infinity to 2, what you got? F dash of x, it is less than 0. So in this interval, when you got f dash of x is equal to less than 0, the function is strictly decreasing. In which interval? In the interval minus infinity to 2. Similarly, I am taking any point. Now I am considering the interval from 2 to infinity. Now I am taking any point in that interval. Say x is equal to 1. So when I take x is equal to 1, what happens? Our f dash of x is equal to 2x minus 4. When x is equal to 1, f dash of 1 is equal to 2 into, sorry, not 1. 1 is not coming in this interval, right? So I am taking 3. So what happens? F dash of 3 is equal to 2 into 3 minus 4. 3 2s are 6 minus 4. It is equal to 2. What we got? We got f dash of x is equal to 2, which is greater than 0. So when I am taking any point in this interval, that is 2 to infinity, we are going to get f dash of x is strictly greater than 0. When f dash of x is strictly greater than 0, the function is what? It is strictly increasing function. So the interval in which the function is strictly increasing is what? That is 2 to infinity. Strictly decreasing is minus infinity to 2. So now you can see here, while I am writing, I used here open interval 2 to infinity. Here I have used again minus infinity to open interval 2. What happens if I write the closed interval? So you can observe here what is this critical point is saying. At x is equal to 2, f dash of x is equal to 0. So when we are talking about when x is equal to 2, our f dash of x is equal to 0 means what? We are at this point at x is equal to 2. What was our f dash of x? It was 2x minus 4. If I put x is equal to 2 means we are going to get f dash of x is equal to 0. So when f dash of x is equal to 0 means what happens? At this point we used to get a slope or a tangent which is parallel to the x-axis. So if I consider closed interval minus 2 to infinity means it is not strictly increasing in this interval. At x is here open closed interval 2 means what happens? 2 is included. 2 is included means what happens? At x is equal to 2, f dash of x is equal to 0. F dash of x is equal to 0 means what happens in this interval? Our f dash of x, it is greater than or equal to 0 when we have used the closed interval. So we should be careful. Since they asked they are strictly increasing, so we are considering here open interval minus 2 to infinity. Suppose if they asked only the increasing function or decreasing function, means at that time you should use closed interval here in place or in front of 2. When they are talking about strictly increasing, strictly decreasing, we should be careful with these terms. So that's why I have mentioned here. So remember this concept. It is minor thing which is to be carried out for solving most of the questions. So this is regarding the problem how we are solving with this type of question. Suppose if there is a question where upon substituting f dash of by taking f dash of x is equal to 0, you are not at all going to get any critical point. So how we are going to deal with that type of question? For example, f of x is equal to 7x minus 3. So if I differentiate this one, means what happens? It is nothing but 7. So if you take f dash of x is equal to 0, means you are going to get f dash of x is equal to 7 itself. There is not at all any point where we are going to get any critical point in this case. So how we are going to deal with this? It is similar to our first example in the beginning of this video, what I have considered a question, that is y is equal to x plus 3. It is similar to the slope intercept form. So we can deal, since it is a straight line, we can deal with that itself. So when I am talking f of x is equal to 7x minus 3, here what happens? Our slope, it is positive. So when slope is positive, means what happens? Our f dash of x, it is also positive. You can see here f dash of x is equal to 7, which is greater than 0. When f dash, here you can say that f dash of x, it is greater than 0 for all x which is belonging to the set of real numbers. When the function is defined for all set of real numbers, means here f dash of x is also greater than 0 for all set of real numbers. So when f dash of x is greater than 0 for all set of real numbers, means what happens? It is an strictly increasing function. So this is how we are going to deal with this type of question. So it is only possible with the linear function. So when it comes to the linear function, we can deal with as similar way, like we are having the idea of straight line concept, that is what we learned in the class 11, that is a slope intercept form, that is y is equal to mx plus c. With this idea we can say whether the slope is positive or negative, or else if suppose if there was a question that is f of x is equal to minus 7x plus 3, means what happens? F dash of x, it will be equal to minus 7, which is less than 0. When f dash of x is less than 0, means it is what? It is strictly decreasing function. Along with this idea also you can say, or else you can say that f of x is equal to minus 7x plus 3. It is in the form of what? Mx plus 3, where, mx plus c, where value of m is equal to minus 7 and c is equal to 3. Your slope is negative. When slope is negative, means what? The function is decreasing. Since it is strictly less than 0, it is strictly decreasing function. So this is how we are going to deal with. In the two concept also I have explained how we can say whether the function is strictly increasing or strictly decreasing when the question are asked in this type. So now let us solve another question based upon the type 2 question. Here they have given the function and we need to say whether in which interval the function is strictly increasing and strictly decreasing. So this is the given function. So first step, what we need to find its derivative. So what is f dash of x? 12x square. 12x square minus 12x minus 72. So this is the our f dash of x. So after finding the f dash of x, we can just simplify this f dash of x first. So how it becomes f dash of x? If I take 12 common outside, x square minus x minus 6. So upon factorizing x square minus x minus 6, what we are going to get? Our factorization, that is 12 into x minus 3 into x plus 2. So this is our f dash of x. So now we got the f dash of x in the simplest form. So now in this stage, what I am taking is, I am taking f dash of x is equal to 0. When I take f dash of x is equal to 0, what happens? 0 is equal to 12 into x minus 3 into x plus 2. So what happens? X minus 3 into x plus 2 is equal to 0. So when the product of any two term is equal to 0 means what happens, either x minus 3 is equal to 0 or x plus 2 is equal to 0. So this gives us value x is equal to 3 and x is equal to minus 2. Now if I draw the number line, means what happens, if this is minus infinity and this is plus infinity, means what happens, this value it is minus 2 and this is our plus 3. So now we got here three interval, that is what, minus infinity to minus 2, another one is minus 2 to plus 3, another one is 3 to infinity. So all I am considered here is open interval. Suppose if I consider closed interval at minus 2 or plus 3, means what happens, at that point f dash of x will be equal to 0. So we are not able to get strictly increasing or strictly decreasing, since in the question itself they have mentioned strictly increasing and strictly decreasing. I am concentrating upon the interval also. So now let us consider what happens to the sign of f dash of x function when we are considering regarding this interval. So now first thing, it is minus infinity to minus 2. So when we are talking from minus infinity to minus 2, means what happens here, from minus infinity to minus 2, let us take any point within this interval. Say minus 3, I am considering minus 3 because minus 3 is coming within this interval. When I take x is equal to minus 3 here, what happens, minus 3 into minus 3 means what happens, it is minus 6. So this term it will be negative. What happens to here, minus 3 plus 2, again this term is also what, it is also negative. So 12 as it is, whatever the sign is, it is depending upon these two. So this is negative, this is negative. What happens, negative into negative, it will be giving product of two negative, it will be positive. So from minus infinity to minus 2, what happens, the function is greater than 0. F dash of x is greater than 0 means it is what, it is strictly increasing. Similarly from minus 2 to 3. So in minus 2 to 3 means we are having 0. Let us check with 0 itself. When I take x is equal to 0 means what happens, this first term it will be 0 into minus 3, it will be minus 3, it will be negative. When I take 0 here, 0 into plus 2 means plus 2, it will be positive. So now what happens, product of these two, negative into positive, minus into plus is always minus. So it is less than 0. So it is less than 0 means f dash of x is less than 0. F dash of x is less than 0 means it is strictly decreasing. Similarly 3 to infinity. So 3 to infinity means, let us take 4. What happens, 4 minus 3. 4 minus 3 is what, it is 1, which is positive. Similarly the next is 4 plus 2. What happens, 4 plus 2, again it is a positive. Positive into positive, it is positive itself, it is which is greater than 0. So f dash of x is greater than 0 means what happens, it is strictly increasing. Now we need to say in which interval the function is strictly increasing and strictly decreasing. So in the interval minus infinity to minus 2, the function is strictly increasing, and minus 3 to infinity, the function is strictly increasing. And in the interval minus 2 to 3, the function is strictly decreasing. So this is how we are going to deal with the function or finding the interval when the given function is given. So in the first example we used to have only one critical point. Here we are having the two critical point. When we are having more than one critical point, this is how we are going to deal with the finding in which interval the given function is having a strictly increasing function or strictly decreasing function. So this is regarding the today's class. Suppose if you have any doubts regarding any of the concept regarding the increasing and decreasing function, means you can ask me at any time. So go through the concept clearly from step by step. Don't skip any of the thing, so that the basic thing is very much important. Since we are talking about the application of the derivative, since it is an application, it is very important, because you should know how it is useful. What you have learned, it should be came up only if you understand how those ideas are being used in our day-to-day life. So this is how we are going to use the application of derivatives in finding the increasing whether the given function is increasing or decreasing function. Thank you, students.